Do you want to learn how to make AI generated videos like this? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Indigo Tech Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you what I've been learning about video generation using AI. So a lot of you might not know it, but there are a couple different open source AI video generation libraries that are out there. Now, I didn't even know about this. The only thing I'd heard about was Sora, where they offer video generation, but it's at a really high cost, something like $200 a month. So that would be a pretty big investment if you weren't really serious about your AI generation. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up video generation with AI using an open source library called Pyramid Flow. So Pyramid Flow is a library that is completely open source. All the code is public, you can download it, but the best part is that it offers free and unlimited video generation. It's completely open source, there's no membership or subscription. Alright, so let's hop right into this and we can set up Pyramid Flow and get started generating videos using AI. So first of all, I'm just going to go to my browser and then look up Pyramid Flow. And what I'm going to do is let's go over to the Hugging Face website. And then what we're going to do is you can see a couple of the examples. Like these are videos that they generated using AI. And I think they look pretty great, honestly. I mean, of course, there's a little bit things that aren't really like 100% realistic. But I mean, that looks pretty great for AI generated video. And if you guys are looking for a place to, or a way to generate videos, this is an awesome place to start, I think, with Pyramid Flow, because it was really easy for me to get started. So what they say is they recommend setting up the environment with Conda. Now you can use Conda or you can just use Python virtual environment. That's what I used to set it up. But if you have Conda installed, you could just follow through this guide. But what we're going to do is we're going to follow the same thing, except for I'm going to use Python virtual environment. And I actually have already done this, but what you would do is you clone the GitHub repo, and then you're going to cd into there, and they're already going to have basically all the code and everything inside of this repo. So you're going to go and create your Python environment, and then you can run pip install to install all the needed dependencies. So I'll show you how I did that. So first of all, we're going to clone the repo. So you run this, and then it would create a folder called Pyramid Flow. The next thing you do is you'd cd into Pyramid Flow. Although I put this in another folder, so it's right here. And then if you do ls, you can see all the files that you have. These video files are already videos that I've generated using the software. So don't think about that. I also have a couple custom Python files that I made to help me run some of the code for downloading and loading the models. All right, so now that you have that set up, the next thing we're going to do is create the Python virtual environment. So to do this, I actually found this great blog article. Was it on FreeCodeCamp? It might have been on FreeCodeCamp. I think this is what it looks like. All right, so what we did is we installed virtual env with pip. So if you don't have pip, you're also going to need that for Python. So you can look that up, install pip for Python, and then for whatever operating system you're on. So I'm on Ubuntu. At least that's what I'm using. I'm actually on Windows, but I'm using a Ubuntu virtual machine. So if we check this out, they're just going to advise you get it through sudo apt-get, which is usually where you get your software when you're on Linux or Ubuntu. Cool. So once you have pip, you can do pip install virtual env. This is going to install this library. And then the next thing we're going to do is to create our virtual environment. You're going to run it just like this. So you say Python. And if you don't have the Python command, CSS command not found, you have to write Python 3. And if you actually type Python 3, it'll put you into a Python terminal. That's not what we want. I just want to run Python 3 and then -m venv for the virtual environment. And then you're going to put the name. So for my virtual environment name, I just literally called it Pyramid. And then once you do this, it'll create a folder called Pyramid. So if we ls, see we have this Pyramid folder. If I ls on that, you'll see it's just like a bunch of different code basically that creates the Python environment. So the next thing you do is we're going to activate the environment. So to do that, you're going to run this source file. So we'll run source, and then we need to put the path to the /bin/activate. So since I called it pyramid, we'll do source pyramid /bin/activate. And when you run that, what it's going to do is it's going to open up this Python virtual environment, and you can tell that you're inside of the environment because now on the left side, over by our name, it has this pyramid in parentheses. So we know that we're inside of the pyramid environment. So that's where you want to be before you run any of this code. Now the reason why you want to create a virtual environment is so that when you install your Python packages, they're scoped to this one folder in this one project. Because usually you'd have multiple apps using Python, and you don't want it. So you don't want when you download a package for it to update the global version or like interfere with your other projects. So that's why you create this virtual environment. So yeah, now that we're inside the virtual environment, you can use it just like a regular Linux shell, except for when you install the Python packages, it'll scope it to this one project, which is pretty nice. All right, so that's actually what we're going to do next is we'll run this pip install -r requirements text. So if you do another ls, you'll notice that there is a requirements text. This is usually what they do to specify all the dependencies in a Python project. And then we can just do pip install -r requirements text, and this will install all the needed dependencies. Now, of course, make sure that you're inside of that pyramid flow folder that you downloaded from GitHub. That's where you want to be running all these commands. So now that you have the dependencies installed with pip, we can move on to the next section, which is going to be downloading the model from Hugging Face. So I guess there are two variants. I kind of missed this the first time. There's MiniFlux or SD3. So the MiniFlux model supports 1024p and 384p video generation, and the SD3 model supports 768 and 384. So I think I was using SD3 because I was using 768. But if you wanted to, you could use the MiniFlux, because I just copied whatever they had here, which was downloading SD3. So this command right here is going to download your model and store it locally. So what I did is I copied this and I created a Python file called download.py. So if I go inside of here, download.py, what it's doing is it just has the same code, except for I specified the model path to be pyramid model. So this is just a folder which it would have created and filled with content. And then we're just running this snapshot download. And after you have that configured, the reason why I put this into a file is so that I could edit the model path. Because otherwise we could just open up a Python shell. Now that we're inside the virtual environment, you can actually just type Python without Python 3. For some reason that will still work, and it still uses the newest version of Python. But we could have just copied this and pasted it right inside of here in the Python terminal, but then it would be a little bit more trickier to edit. So that's why I'm taking these and putting them into Python files and then running them individually. So yeah, the first step is just to download the model. So I created this download py, and it's the same exact code from here, except for I edited the model path to be a folder instead of just saying path, because whatever that is, that's going to be the directory that it makes to save the model data inside of. So as you can see, I called it pyramid model, and then what I did is I got out of here and I just ran the file. So I ran python and download.py, ran this. It took like a while to download the model, but once you have that set up, now we have this pyramid model folder. We can ls that, and it has all these different like models and folders, and you can see like the different 768p and 384p, so those are the different versions. Alright, so now that you have that downloaded, you have your model. The next thing we're going to do is implement this section of code, which is going to basically load the downloaded model. So it's going to use that same path wherever you imported the model. And then the second step is going to be actually generating the video. So what I did is I just put these both into the same file, because first you're going to have to import the model, And then second, you can use the model to generate your video. So what I did is I created a file called generate video.py. And inside of here, all I did is I copied this first set of code to load the model. So we can check that out. See, I'm importing some libraries, and then we're going to be loading up the model, and I passed in the path to, well, just the folder name, actually. And the funny thing about this is there's an error in this code, funny enough, or maybe it was just for me. It looks like I have more content here than they have. Look, they only have 3 parameters, but for some reason I have 4. The model name, see, they don't have model name here. So I don't know how I got that different. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I got an error because for some reason this was like lower than the other one. I think I might have got it from GitHub. So if we open up the Git repository, check it out right here. Model D type. It looks like there might even be a bug in my code. The model D type, I was passing it in as without a name parameter, but it looks like it almost wants that. So I'm gonna update that real quick. Model D type equals model D type. Okay. Then I'm gonna write to that file. But yeah, basically I took this first section to import the model and I updated it with the path. Then I go on and I grab the second section, which this is how you generate the video. So it has a prompt, and then it also has a couple different options that you can modify when you're generating the video, which may or may not improve or speed up the performance. So if we take a look at this full code, we're going to import the model, and then we have our prompt. So the one that I was using right now is a man flying through sky like Superman. Although the one that they give you by default is like featuring, see this guy in space wearing this, and they put in a lot of detail, and it actually gets this very accurately, which is cool. So as much detail as you want to put in, like you can put how old the dude is, like what he was wearing, and it's gonna get all of that stuff, or at least it should get it right. So once you have your prompt in there, we can just basically go through here. We can right quit, and then you can just run that script. We can do it with Python. You can run generate video.py, and it's going to actually go and start this process. So this can take a long time. For me, it usually takes about 30 to 40 minutes to generate one video, which I know is not that great. But obviously, if you have more GPUs and more memory available on the GPU, then you would have different results. This is probably going to take like 30 minutes to complete. But once that's done, I will show you the results. Alright, so now the video has finished generating, and I'm going to take a look at what it made. So I'm just going to go over to the folder where I put the pyramid flow folder. And it's right in here. And it should be one of these of videos. I'm actually just going to sort by the date, and we should get the first one. Oh, whoa, look at that. That looks crazy. So it took however much time. I guess it did the Superman one. I thought I changed the prompt. But yeah, this looks kind of crazy. It doesn't really look right, but also kind of just, it's crazy, man. It's like a dream. But look at the sky in the background. That looks like really good quality. Everything looks pretty good. It's just AI doesn't really know how Superman flies. Hey guys, I'm editing the video right now, and I just wanted to show you how I did that cool intro effect. So first of all, I'm in DaVinci, and I have my video right here. And then I went to the point where I wanted to freeze it, and I went over to the color correction tab. And then you can right click on the image, press grab still, and then we can right click on that and export it as an image. So I'm going to export it, and then I'm going to go to my downloads folder, grab that image, cut it, and then go to the pyramid flow. So wherever you put that folder for pyramid flow, I'm going to paste it right into here. So I already have one called me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my image to video Python script, which I didn't show this in the video. I only showed the script for generating video, but they have it right here on the website for pyramid flow in the examples. So the first example is just text to video generation. And then the second one is image to video, which is just slightly different, but it still works really similarly, except for that you're going to pass in an image. So now I'm going to go into my script, and what I'm going to change is this image source. Of course, I'm going to put the path to my image. I just called it me, and then I'm going to change the prompt. And I'm going to try to come up with something creative to have happen to the image. I want to say like transform the person into a rocket ship and launch off into space. Like, imagine if it could actually do this. That'd be like some crazy editing effect that I don't even know how to do that. I mean, I kind of do because I do video stuff. But now that I saved that, I'm going to run this script, and it should just work. We shouldn't have any problems here. But I bet it's gonna take like 30 minutes. So I'll just give this the time, and then once it's done, hopefully it comes out with something cool looking.